As we previously reported about a couple months ago, Prince Harry was urged to step down from his African Parks charity after several horrific complaints came into the board that they seemingly ignored. Now, Prince Harry wasn't just in this like minorly. He was the president of this charity for 6 years and now has upgraded to the board of directors. So what makes all this problematic is we've still not yet heard anything, and now new allegations are coming in. Why is no one talking about this? Welcome to Popcorn Palace. I am Andy Signor, and look, I think it's important we keep the heat on this. Many people are suspecting that the whole Where's Kate conspiracy theory has been kept on going longer than need to because Meghan and Harry's supporters have been trying to distract us from this very issue, because they previously said that they were putting in active, ongoing investigations and that the claims were of its highest priority. But this was back in January, and we've still not yet heard anything. And now what's so troubling is that new reports are now coming in of now new killings and other. You see the allegations right there. I got to be careful in the first minutes of my videos of what kind of words, otherwise you know how it goes. But this is some terribly horrific stuff that I'm going to go through. And it's just scary. And I'm not saying Prince Harry is specifically involved, but he kind of is, because it's all on his watch. This charity, African Parks, that he's a part of, and here he is again, which he's the board of directors, is over there. And now a lot of people are wondering, why aren't you guys actually doing anything about this to protect the people there? Before we go back to what was previously reported, let's go into these new allegations. So African Conservator Charity, in which Harry is the board of directors, is facing further accusations of human rights abuses that include extrajudicial killings and violent fresh allegations of brutality in Zambia by rangers jointly managed by African Parks have emerged following the MOS's front page report in January about armed guards engaging in beatings, the R word, and torture in the Baka tribal people in the Republic of Congo. The charity, which manages parks in 12 African countries with 1,400 guards patrolling protected land almost the size of Britain, claims that it saves wildlife by working with local communities. So again, they're out there trying to save the wildlife and help the communities, but here they are not stepping in, or at least not taking themselves out when all of this is happening. Prior to the allegations being made, Prince Harry, the charity's president for 6 years until he joined the governing board of directors last year, boasted, "The African Parks model is exactly what conservation should be about, putting people at the heart of the solution." But now allegations of brutality have surfaced in Zambia's Bangweulu wetlands. This is the new allegation. A conservation area almost the size of Devon that is home to 50,000 indigenous people who have the right to sustainably harvest natural resources such as fish, antelope, and rabbits. African Parks has managed the area since 2008 in partnership with the government and 6 local chiefdoms. The charity says it's only a project where management responsibilities are not fully integrated, with conservation law enforcement remaining under the supervision of the Department of National Parks and Wildlife. While it's not clear exactly who perpetrated the attacks in Zambia, an investigation by this newspaper has found evidence that in September 2021, a marketplace was sprayed with gunfire that left scores of villagers injured, including young children. Impoverished people in Bangweulu, who one of Africa's most important wetlands, now are suffering a campaign of intimidation to stop them fishing and hunting on their own land, while tourists arrive on safari expeditions that can cost up to $5,000 a day. Our home has become a nightmare that frightens us every day, who was shot during the attack in the village market. Farmer Japulu, sorry if I'm saying these names wrong, also was wounded, pleaded for African Parks to leave. They have turned this place into hell. African Parks insists it has zero tolerance for human rights abuse and has hired Sherry Blair's law firm to investigate the original allegations that rangers in Congo were beating, R-ing, and torturing locals. MOS has seen minutes from the biggest chiefdoms council meetings that record claims of extrajudicial killings, maiming, severe beatings, and torture. The document says 12 people have been shot dead or beaten to death, and that poaching suspects are paraded naked in front of their families and neighbors. The council chairman claimed cases including a man killed after being caught fishing. They just beat him, but not a single ranger has been imprisoned. village in Moeli claim that the market shooting happened after rangers arrested a man found with antelope meat, then chased a second suspect in the village in defiance of an agreement with local community. This sparked protests and stone throwing at damaged vehicles, including 2 belonging to African parks. The Ministry of Tourism said law enforcement officers fired warning shots to disperse the villagers. Locals claim 48 people were injured, including 5 women and 3 children. I was hit in the arm. The pain was excruciating. So now here's the problem, right? So African Parks obviously is not involved in these rangers, but they're employing the rangers and using the rangers to do these things. So under the money and support and guidance of African Parks, these rangers are still now acting without any sort of, check. And again, African Parks led by Prince Harry still. And that's what's so problematic of all this. He knows, he's been warned, and he's not getting involved. Government minister told Zambia's parliament that moderate force was used on righteous and irate residents. African Parks said incidents had been reported to the criminal justice system, and rangers were found to have acted in self-defense due to armed threats from suspected poachers. So that's the argument. Well, the people are wrong. We were in self-defense. Who's right? Well, they're clearly going to get away with it, it seems. That's the problem right now. It's our way of life. What they call poaching is just fishing or hunting, said one man, co-founder of Zambia group Action for Nature. We agree with conservation, but people still need something to put in their table. African Parks admitted in its 2022 annual report that it had seen a number of unfortunate interactions between residents and the park rangers, which have led to both injuries and fatalities. So they're acknowledged. So there it is. Proof from their 2022 report. They know it's happening. Fire Longo, a campaign director for Survival International, which fights for the rights of indigenous people, says this is another case of abuse, violence, supposedly in the name of conservation. Her group wrote to Prince Harry in May about appalling human rights abuses. Harry's spokesman said the Duke immediately escalated the allegations to the chairman and chief executive of African Parks. Charity told the newspaper none of the investigation teams had yet visited the park. There is no suggestion that Harry had any knowledge of the allegations about what happened in Zambia. African Parks said while there has been incidents that we condemn, suggesting African Parks is responsible for structural misconduct in the area would be false. Now, that's the comment from Prince Harry's African Parks, and I get it. Prince Harry's not there day to day, but here's my question. Why isn't he getting more involved? He now knows. This is since January, he's been alerted of even worser crimes from these rangers and what's happening. And I get it. It's another country. It's potentially hard to police and go. But even as Jack Royston of Newsweek pointed out in January after this broke, this is hugely problematic for him. Now, I'm not saying he can just solve the dilemma there in Africa between the people and there's clear government. Obviously, lots of things can happen, but you could dissociate yourself from it and not get involved or put those funds to show up and do good that Archewell claims to do and figure out a way to help these people. What's actually going down? That's what the problem is here. Instead of actually seemingly addressing this investigation of R and torture, they're just ignoring it. They're going off to premieres and accepting awards and doing all these things when I thought the whole point was show up and do good. But no, it seems like they're more worried about saving the animals than the indigenous people that are there. Now, look, I love saving the animals. I'm all for it. But yes, we can't just use conservation as a way to bully yourself in the land and get the way you want. And yes, Harry, you are now responsible. This is bad. As you look up the leaders of this group, you are on the board. I just had it there. Oh, I'm getting back. You are on the board of directors, dude. What the heck? So, yeah, this is on your watch, buddy. And if you don't want it on your watch because you're like, this is too complicated, then take it off your plate and leave and move away because your face is continuing to be a part of this. So either attempt to help solve it, explain why it's complicated, do your damn job as a conservationist and charitable diplomat and actually explain it, buddy, instead of constantly trying to push the buck somewhere else. There are clear issues happening out there, and this is shameful that you're out there doing red carpets and launching new orchards and stuff with your wife, but not addressing these allegations. This is terrible stuff to the indigenous people in Africa, which I thought was such a big deal to you and Megan. You both traveled there together. What's going on here? Why aren't we talking more about this? Yeah, everyone's talking about where's Kate. I think it's time we start moving on. I think Kate's at home. If something else comes about, we'll have to go there, and maybe Harry and Meghan will try to extend it even further. But in the meanwhile, let's not let this story die. There are now more cases that something out there is going wrong. So I need your support, guys. We need to keep the pressure on. So please, you can share the story. Make sure you like this video. Let's help its engagement. You can also subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified at other alerts of videos like this. But again, engagement helps. Leave a like, leave a comment down below, share the video, and tell me what you think. Are you frustrated as I am? I want to hear your thoughts down below. We got lots more coming here to Popcorn Palace and Popcorn Planet. Hope you subscribe to both. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more updates.